totally fooled were the Raiders.
79 yards, the longest pass play of the year for the Vikings. And there's the defense against the run as Ben Lieber fills the hole. Justin Fargas first carry and another flag.
False start. Number 76 to the offense. Half the distance to the goal. Second down.
No play. Robert Gallery, the guard, the penalty.
On the touchdown, I got to show you this, though. Matt Burke. You know, quarterbacks get excited about quarterbacks. I get excited about offensive linemen. Look at the job he does on Turdell Sands, the nose guard. Opens up that hole, and that makes it an easy walk-in for Chester Taylor.
5 times a Pro Bowler. Matt Burke, a native of the area, went to high school in St. Paul and then to Harvard. 2nd and 12 and a half. Fake the reverse and the handoff to Fargas, and nothing but purple jerseys there, led by big Pat Williams. Boy, Kevin and Pat Williams, the two guys inside, are they ever tough. The former Viking Culpepper, 3 Pro Bowl years here, no longer the run threat he once was. He needs to have that strong arm active today. 2-time Pro Bowl center Jeremy Newberry, he'll be challenged trying to block those 2 big guys, Pat and Kevin Williams, in the middle. And the Raiders are number 5 in the NFL in running the ball. Fargas has taken over as the starter. Lamont Jordan not active today. Hand off to Fargas, and he gets some yardage across the 5, but Pat Williams gets his 320 pounds on his back and drags him down, and here comes the punting team.
Well, Kevin Williams almost takes the handoff. Watch 93 come right screaming through. He's right there for the handoff, right there in front of Justin Fargas. Great job of concentration by not only Culpepper, but also Fargas, because Williams did a nice job of getting into the backfield.
Here's the top punter in the league, Shane Leckler, averaging almost 50 a kick. Very high on this one. And up to field it is Waldy Moore, and the fair catch near midfield. And that is a short punt for Leckler. And he's been pounding one in practice, 70-yard kicks. This one only 33. So Tavares Jackson in Minnesota will start when we return at the Raider 41. Welcome back. Uncharacteristically short punt from Shane Leckler positions the Vikings already with a 7-0 lead at the Raider 41. Chester Taylor, not the handoff. It's a screen to Taylor. Chase from behind, and he's able to move right to the yellow line. Appears to have a first down. Thomas Howard chased him down. Raider defense. A change with Chris Clemens starting for Jay Richardson at end. Clemens has been an outstanding pass rusher, and Warren Sapp, of course, he'll be in the middle trying to stop the Minnesota #1 running game. Linebackers, perhaps the strength, very fast. Thomas Howard, 4 interceptions, 2 for touchdowns. And the back 4, they've been as good as any in the league the last couple of years. Asamoah had 8 interceptions last year, none this year. They just don't throw to his side anymore. Swing it out to Taylor. 25, runs through tackles and a first down at the 17. Schweigert finally brought him to the turf.
Well, Dick, this is the definition so far of using the pass to set up the run. You know you've got a good run defense in the Oakland Raiders D. Why pound your head against the wall? And they've used a little trickery, and they've also used a nice job by Chester Taylor, who is extremely adept and learned a lot of it up at Baltimore when he was with Brian Billick in that offense by catching the ball out of the backfield.
6th-year veteran from Toledo, Taylor. 13 yards on that last play, and he gets the carry off the left side, much like the touchdown run. He's inside the 15. Warren Sapp made the stop. There's the veteran Sapp, 7 times a Pro Bowler in his 13th year out of Miami of Florida.
And he knows very well. He gets in that 3-guard, that 3 technique for the defensive tackle outside the left guard's shoulder. And if that left guard is Steve Hutchinson, he better bring his entire sack lunch with him, because he's got a whole day's work going against Hutchinson. Hutchinson is as strong, as quick, and as flat nasty as anybody in the league at O-line.
You got Matt Burke, a Pro Bowler at center, and Hutchinson right to his left. There's a handoff, comes back the other way, Meweldy Moore, and he drags a tackler inside the 5. Kirk Morrison, the leading tackler for the Raiders, and he saved the touchdown. But here's Minnesota marching almost unstoppably to the edge of another touchdown.
You're thinking left, they're going right. Pretty simple thing, just crease blocking. Nice job by Kleinsasser lining up at that right tight end slash H-back, sealing things out, and it just opens it up. The defense anticipating a run to the left side gets caught out of position.
Noel D. Moore only his 11th carry of the season, and he's been productive, averaging over 7 a carry. A fake to Taylor. Jackson throws to the end zone. It's intercepted. Asamoah leaping in front and picks it off. That's his first interception of the year, and after running the ball well, it's Jackson gambling. He fed the ball to the back line, and look at Asamoah leap in front of the receiver.
Yeah, but Dick, why do you come out of the end zone? If there's nothing there, kneel down. Give it to him on the 2.
The sun burns at 11,000 degrees, especially when it's on your side of the camp.
You know, Dick, the Minnesota Vikings actually, in theory, run a nice play trying to bring Sidney Rice all the way from the backside this way. And the whole way, Tavares Jackson wants to hit his wide receiver. Stop it right there. He's open. That's when he wants him to pull the trigger. But as he ends up lobbing that thing over higher, that gives Asamoah that chance to make that beautiful athletic play. Sometimes that quarterback needs to lob it. Other times he had an opening in there. He could have probably drilled it in there a little bit earlier.
One of the tallest corners in the league at 6'2". Asamoah, as we mentioned earlier, 8 interceptions a year ago. That's his first this season. It saved what seemed to be a sure 14-0 Viking lead. Justin Fargas battles his way for a couple out across the 5-yard line. Look at the Minnesota Viking defense. For the past 2 years, they've been the best in the league against the run. Number 93 in the middle, 2-time Pro Bowler Kevin Williams. Watch him. Leading Viking tackler is middle linebacker E.J. Henderson. 13 of those tackles for a loss. Secondary has been pass vulnerable. Returning at cornerback after missing 2 games, cornerback Antoine Winfield. He should help. And maybe a yard for Fargas into the arms of Ben Lieber. And so far, the Raiders unable to muster any kind of a running attack at all for Lane Kiffin.
Well, Lane Kiffin knows full well. You've mentioned a couple times the Williams brothers inside at defensive tackle, Kevin and Pat. You don't run in there on them. You have to crease them out around your tackles, tight ends, wide receivers. You have to run on the edges against this defense because there's no business to be done inside.
And that's exactly what the Green Bay Packers accomplished a week ago in shutting out these Vikings. 3rd down 7 for Culpepper. From his own end zone. Just does get it away. Is there a flag?
There's nobody there.
Yes, there it is. That's a safety. Ray Edwards provided the defensive pressure.
Intentional grounding. Number 8 in the offense. That foul occurred in the end zone. Therefore, it is a safety.
Oh, a 9-0 lead for Minnesota. So Culpepper early in this opening quarter trying so hard to produce something for his new team. Held on too long, and it costs 2 points to the Raiders. Vikings striking quickly offensively and defensively. Register the safety. And now with a 9-0 lead, we'll get the ball right back as Leckler on the free kick from the 20. Noel D. Moore circling under it at the 27. There's some blockers out there. 40. And almost to midfield before he's chased out of bounds by Fabian Washington.
Well, it was called a safety, intentional grounding. You watch the receivers on both sides on the right here, and the area that Dante Culpepper throws the ball into is right over here. But as Edwards and Robinson arrive at Culpepper, there is nothing in this area but an offensive lineman on the very edge. So there is not an eligible receiver. That was a pretty easy call, and great start, especially I think by this Vikings defense.
On 1st down, it's Taylor trying the left side. And he's to the 50. Let's see now. Go back to that save. Robinson and Edwards hit him simultaneously. Right. You get 2 points for the safety. Does that mean they share it and get 1 point? One each, a rouge each.
It's a yeah. A team sack, and hopefully for those two guys, it's a half a sack apiece, because when Dante gets back here in the end zone, right about now, he knows he's in trouble. He's trying to get out. He can't go that way because of Robinson, and he doesn't see Edwards coming from the backside. It's a blitz. Greenway's coming, other linebackers are coming, and an excellent job filling in there.
Cornell Green, his own blocker, kind of did just that, blocked his path to get outside. Jackson throws underneath, complete to Bobby Wade. He fumbled the ball. If it's called a completion, and it is so far, yes, the Raiders have their second turnover. Kirk Morrison scrapes it in on the fumble recovery, and that, believe it or not, here in the 10th game of the year is the first fumble recovery by the Raiders all year.
Well, the slot receiver working right there. Watch him just come in. Wade, Bobby Wade, he has it. He does have it long enough to put it away, make a move, take a step or two. I don't think this is worth challenging. That was just a flat fumble.
Robert Thomas, credit him with stripping the ball, and Morrison with the recovery. And the Raiders finally with some field position. And again, the result, trying to run between tackles, is negligible.
Well, when Green Bay challenged this Minnesota Viking team, they didn't challenge them inside. They decided to work the edges. And man, did they get some blocks out there on the edges. And Ryan Grant had a field day. I wouldn't say had a coming out day, because he'd come out for the last couple of weeks, but he really established himself in that Green Bay running attack as legitimate against these Vikings.
Quite a pickup for the Packers. Ryan Grant from the New York Giants, where he was locked on the practice squad. Culpepper going deep, and he's got a man open. It's Ronald Curry, and Curry to the 5-yard line. A former basketball star at North Carolina, and he was wide open on the fast break.
Yeah, Cedric Griffin is at cornerback, and Curry is going the whole way against him. You start with a 5-yard pad. See that little hesitation? Nice job by Curry of selling it. Bad job by Griffin of biting on it. An excellent pass by Dante Culpepper, getting just enough at pass protection. And like we said, there might have issues about and questions about Dante's knees, but not about his arm.
They spotted at the 6, first and goal. And Fargas, no gain as he tries the left side, and big Pat Williams there to stuff the run once again.
Yeah, it's kind of hard not to root for a player like Justin Fargas, isn't it?
Yeah, he does have a good story.
You know, you talk about Adrian Peterson and how aggressive he runs, and Fargas also runs aggressive, but you can tell this guy's been out of work before. You can tell how much this game means to Justin Fargas. And Lane Kiffin said, you know, unlike Adrian Peterson drafted #1, this guy's proven he deserves these reps.
And Lamont Jordan, testimony to that on the bench, inactive today as Fargas has won the job. Culpepper in trouble. He used to be able to run away from, face mask. And no flag yet. Looked like somebody grabbed him by the face mask, E.J. Henderson, and dragged him down, but there's no flag. And apparently was up around the shoulders and not into the mask.
I'm not sure if it was the face mask or he just used the helmet, put a hand around his head and brought him down. E.J. Henderson comes screaming out of the right side. It was Ben Lieber with the initial. Now here comes Henderson, 56. No part of it. Just grabbed him around the neck, grabbed him around the jersey, and pulled him down.
It wasn't inside the shoulder pads or inside the jersey and the horse collar, or would have been a penalty. Culpepper spends a timeout on 3rd and goal. In the last 5 games in the opening quarter, and here they are on 3rd and goal at the 16. Shotgun Culpepper. And he's dragged down by Ray Edwards, and a flag down with it.
Yeah, it's going to be holding on Green.
Cornell Green, the right tackle. Now those, we've seen a couple of plays here in this sequence where Culpepper on a healthy knee used to be able to outrun the defense.
Holding number 74, the offense. That penalty will be declined. 4th down.
Well, that's an interesting decline there, isn't it? It could have moved them 10 yards back and made it a tougher field goal.
There comes Edwards, Dick, just right over the top of the rookie, Zach Miller from Arizona State. I mean, literally runs right over number 80. Just crunches him with a power rush, and Dante can't get away. The arm is still there, but the legs aren't willing or able.
42-yard attempt by Janikowski. 12 for 17 this year. And that strong left foot of his drives it through. He almost hit a 64-yard field goal for an NFL record earlier in the season. 9-3. Licensed NFL team apparel at the CBS Sports Store. Check it out today when you click on shop at cbssports.com. So the fumble recovery at the Raider 47 and the long pass to Ronald Curry of 46 yards set up the 42-yard field goal by Janikowski and a 9-3 game. One of the upbacks, Jeff Dugan, a tight end H-back, takes the kickoff out to about the 28-yard line as Tavares Jackson, the former star at Alabama State. He started his college career at Arkansas. Montgomery born and raised and went back to Alabama State, located in that city. Adrian Peterson, hopefully he'll be back next week. There are a lot of question marks around that prognosis. This was last week against Green Bay. Was hit low by Al Harris, and the right knee ligament damage suffered. He's been in the training room all week trying to hurry the process along, as his coach Brad Childress said, boy, just the fear in his eyes was the big thing. And here's his replacement. And the man was the star runner last year, and there's nothing wrong with Chester Taylor.
You know, in talking about Morrison, or talking to Morrison about Adrian Peterson and Chester Taylor, you know, Morrison told us yesterday, I really don't notice much of a difference, because it's an 8 and a 9, and both numbers look pretty similar, and they run very similar. And Chester Taylor there did a decent imitation of an Adrian Peterson.
Picks up the first down at the 38. He's averaging 5 a carry coming in. Peterson 6.4 a carry to lead the league. Number 1 in almost every rushing category, Adrian Peterson. Back to Taylor. And he's met by 3 white jerseyed Raiders, spearheading the tackle, Kirk Morrison. This is what the Vikings are missing from this handsome young star out of Oklahoma. The best in the league, rushing yards, the only man over 1,000. He's got a 200-plus lead over Willie Parker. Yards from scrimmage, 8 touchdowns to tie for first, and has a catch for a touchdown to move him number 4 tied in the league.
I sure hope he's 100% when he comes back. He's a huge talent. Do not rush him back too early on a torn ligament.
Amen. Jackson throws under pressure to Bobby Wade, and Wade steps out of bounds with a first down at the 49. Stanford route on the corner made the play.
You really get the feel, and part of it was the reverse pass that the Vikings opened the game with, but the way Chester Taylor, a little bit of Mewaldy Moore in this running game, and the aggressive nature of this line is taking a little bit of the starch out of this Raiders defense. And they've got them right now kind of back on their heels, second guessing, maybe a little bit behind the pick in the play calling department.
Only 2 turnovers. The interception by Asamoah and the fumble have stopped the Vikings from enjoying a big early lead. Wide open over the middle is the tight end Shanko, and Shanko a first down inside the 35 of the Raiders. Now mark at the 36. Hiram Eugene, a backup safety, made the play.
That's an excellent, I guess you call it West Coast play, but Shanko comes all the way across. As Jackson rolls out, the tight end is just tracing him and tracking him the entire way. Nice low tackle, aggressive tackle, but good play calling right now by Brad Childress and the Vikings.
We understand Stuart Schweigert, the starting safety, has a hip injury, and Hiram Eugene now playing at that free safety spot. Taylor weaving his way, pounding inside the 20. They're making it look much too easy rushing the ball, and underlining the fact that they are the #1 rushing team in the league.
Pulling this way. Look at the left tackle, look at the left guard. I mean, the right tackle and the left tackle. McKinney does a great job of power blocking. And they just pound this ball right now, and Cook just pulls around and does a beautiful job on the move.
And what vision by Taylor. Found that crease, 17 yards on the pickup. He has 44 yards in this opening quarter on the ground. Taylor runs right through a tackle. Make it Naufahu Tahi in for a carry, the 254-pound fullback from BYU. That's only his third carry of the entire season.
Lane Kiffin's been giving him reps at fullback and halfback. The most important part of that, obviously, if you get put in at halfback, you'd have to know a whole different sequence when it comes to picking up blitzes. But very aggressive, very powerful young back.
Native of Tonga, stays in the game at tailback.
Tony Richardson at fullback in front of him.
Back to Tahi. He's got a lot of push and power to the 10-yard line. Right at the yellow marker, a little short. Warren Sapp first to get to him.
It was a nice job inside by Matt Burke at the center position. Again, working against Turdell Sands, but then fullback Tony Richardson led right through. I mean, this is just power on power right now, and Minnesota is clearly just pounding on the Raiders defense.
Yeah, you talk about Burke and Hutchison, the two Pro Bowlers in the middle of the line, and then Tony Richardson, twice a Pro Bowler blocking back. They can move some folks out of the way of that ball carrier. Third and about a half yard. Tahi hesitated, and that cost him. And the Raiders able to deny the edge, and will bring up fourth down as the first quarter comes to an end. Score deceiving, only 9-3. Minnesota much in command. Here at the Metrodome, Dick Enberg and Randy Cross. Ryan Longwell to try a 30-yard field goal. And he belts it through, and that means he has been successful 26 straight from inside 45. Longwell, they've scored every way possible, the Vikings. As they moved again very efficiently and almost at will, especially on the ground, with the star being the running back Taylor. Longwell to Dominique Rhodes. And Rhodes is across the 25, slips away to the 33-yard line before Heath Farwell can make the tackle. Well, tonight on The Amazing Race, the next stop, Africa. Will one man's pain force his team to quit? And what could push a team over the edge? Don't miss a new Amazing Race tonight after 60 minutes. Oh, milking the camel, that's a tough one. But once you get over the hump, it's, you know, just routine. The Amazing Race.
You had to say that.
Yeah, I had. First down, and Culpepper and the Raiders, can they generate some offense? There it is, Jerry Porter. Good for about 11 and a first down at the 44-yard line. Well, the #1 pick in the last draft was Jamarcus Russell, the 255-pound quarterback, 6'6", out of LSU. That's a great star there. His idols Randall Cunningham and Culpepper, two ex-Vikings. He's a big man that can run and throw. Does everything left-handed except play the game of football. Throws and kicks right. Will we see him? We'll, after this play, discuss that very fact. Off play action, Culpepper going for the big bomb. Deep to Curry. And did he catch that? Oh, my. Helmet went flying. Two Vikings all over him. And Curry was able to steal that pass. What a play.
That ball was about 90 feet off the ground and about 55 yards in the air. And when it comes down, Curry has got no shot. Sharper goes through his hands and into the hands of Curry. Briefly, it seems like Sharper has it, but Curry never loses focus. Loses his helmet, gets kicked in the head, and never takes his eyes off the ball.
So a 46-yard pass and now a 49-yard pass, and then a mix-up on the snap, and Culpepper able to fall on it.
Well, simply amazing. If you're a young receiver and they talk about concentrating on the ball, the eyes of Curry never left the ball. His helmet left his head, but his eyes never left the ball.
There were a few distractions, weren't there? Two defenders all over him, plus losing the helmet. But Curry comes down with a precious prize and a chance for the Vikings to close this gap. It's 12-3 Minnesota, early second quarter. Fargas with Culpepper. Lots of time underneath, incomplete. Curry should have had it. He knows it. That ball was right there for Ronald Curry.
He caught the hard one. Now he gets the low fastball. I mean, the real heater. That was just a ball that was put perfectly in the spot where only the Raider receiver could get to it. Curry was the only one with a shot at that ball, Dick.
So third down and goal from the 10. Strange feeling for Culpepper. All that noise against him. It used to be for him here in his 7 years. Steps up. Has a man wide open. Touchdown. John Madsen, the backup tight end, his first score of the season.
Well, it's not a strange feeling for Dante Culpepper to step up in the pocket and find a wide open receiver in this building. Only rushing 4. There's no blitz here. And Dante Culpepper takes advantage inside of Williams getting crease and penetration, steps up and hits a wide open Madsen.
Madsen had a touchdown last year. That's his first of this season, and Janikowski for the point after. So on the long arm of Culpepper, the Raiders strike back. It's 12-10. For so many decades, the Twin Cities proud of its theater arts, and the Guthrie, one of the great facilities in our country, and great productions year after year. Well, the Raiders strike. A drive of 67 yards in 5 plays, and now Troy Williamson brings it back for the Vikings. And able to make it just to the 19-yard line. Tackled by Ricky Brown. Well, Friday, folks, day after Thanksgiving, the Home Depot SEC on CBS. Holiday special, Heisman hopeful Darren McFadden and Arkansas tangle with the #1 ranked Bayou Bengals of LSU. All live, 2:30 Eastern, Friday on CBS.
Well, about 10 weeks ago, Dick, we had a whole different cast of characters in the top 10 in the college ranks. They're about due for another upset, aren't they?
Arkansas Razorbacks, no easy call for LSU, but the Tigers will be #1 when the rankings come out late tonight. Handoff and a fumble in the backfield as Taylor drops the ball, and somehow the Raiders do get it. It looked as if for a moment Dugan had fallen on a ball that scored it out, but not the case. As they unpile the celebration, Warren Sapp and Jared Cooper. And it's Cooper, the backup safety, able to make the recovery, but credit Sapp with the most important part of it, getting to the ball carrier in the backfield.
A bad coordination between Matt Burke and Steve Hutchinson. If you're going to praise him, you got to point something out bad. It's a combination block, trying on that 3 technique. That Warren Sapp's in the gap. Hutchinson runs right by him, Burke runs right by him, and Warren Sapp just goes straight to the ball.
How do you figure this game? Here's a team that didn't recover a fumble in the first 9 games. They have 2 in the first half, the Raiders. Chance for the lead, and this is a case where Culpepper dumped it off. There is a flag down thrown by the umpire.
Can't be grounding because Justin Fargas was right there.
Yeah, Kirk Morrison, talking with him yesterday, said the one thing we've got to do, we just aren't getting any takeaways, especially if we get the ball loose and fumble. No one will fall on it in one of our jerseys.
Ineligible downfield, number 76 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Robert Gallery, the All-America lineman at Iowa, was the man downfield prematurely.
Well, here's Warren Sapp, but here's the combination block between Hutchinson and Burke, and watch Sapp just burst right through it. Hutchinson goes by him. Burke never even breathes on him. Looks like he wants to try to block him, but Hutchinson never slowed Warren Sapp down. And criticize Warren Sapp all you want. He's lost that weight. He can really get up the field as good as he ever has.
Yeah, that looked like the young Warren Sapp, didn't it? -11, the turnover differential for the Raiders on the season, but coming in, but now +3 today. Give it to Fargas, and tries the middle of the line. Well, they're persistent, are the Raiders. They're running it inside, not with much success. E.J. Henderson leading tackler for the Vikings, who really can row sideline to sideline. Young Lane Kiffin. He said when he was the ball boy here, his favorite was Chris Carter. He said, boy, at practice, Carter would put on a show. Those one-handed catches, he was bored catching the ball two hands. 2nd and 12, a loss of 2 on that last carry. Quick throw is behind Porter. Well, you've seen already why the Vikings are number 3 defending the run and last in the league in defending the pass. It seems apparent that if the Raiders are going to move the ball, it's going to be through the air today.
And it's also why you saw there the Minnesota defense given that kind of that scrambled, goofy look where everybody's kind of walking around and then blitz. Because if you don't, if Frazier, the defensive coordinator, doesn't blitz Dante Culpepper will pick his defense apart. They've got to blitz, and they've got to make Dante move off his spot.
3rd and a dozen. And they run it to Fargas wide for the first time, and he is cartwheeled down. Somersaults down at the 12, well short of the first down, and out Janikowski will count to try to give the Raiders a 1-point lead.
So you want to play in the NFL, and you always wanted to be a running back, huh? Ouch. There's a good example of, we've got a young man who's hurt in this game that's standing on the sideline, Adrian Peterson. Justin Fargas has worked his tail off to get his shot, and he's completely healthy. Can you imagine doing that if you're not completely healthy?
Janikowski from 30. And the Raiders, using 3 turnovers, have rallied from 9-0 down to take a 13-12 lead. Janikowski with a field goal, and the Raiders lead for the first time. He drives this one low into the wedge, and it's Charles Gordon returning this time instead of Troy Williamson. And Gordon out to the 35-36 yard line. A free agent pickup out of Kansas a year ago. Ricky Brown, the tackler, and we remind you, Thanksgiving night, you can feast your eyes on a special Survivor. You won't believe what the castaways have to gobble up. Don't miss a special Survivor China Thursday, Thanksgiving night on CBS.
Follows that Jets-Dallas game.
That's right, here on CBS, our Thanksgiving NFL special. Chester Taylor, last play a disaster as Sapp blew it up and forced the fumble. Tavares Jackson, the short pass into the flat to Tony Richardson, and the big fullback rumbles for a first down out to the 47. And we're going to chase on to New York to James Brown.
Dick and Randy, Packer fans pleased that Brett Favre did not retire. Take a look, play action here. Drills this bullet, 4-yard strike to Greg Jennings. 6 plays, 71 yards. Packers up by 11 in the second. Dick Enberg, Randy Cross.
Goodness, what is that? 44 and 38, the quarterbacks in that game. That's an older combination than the two of us.
That sounds like the median point on how many touchdowns Favre's going to throw this year, 38 to 44.
Taylor the carry on that play, and Brett Favre, for the fans here in the Minnesota, Wisconsin area, that performance again last week as the Packers shut out the Vikings 34-0. He just looked as if he was going to complete every pass.
Well, go through a list in your mind of the number of Minnesota Viking quarterbacks since Brett Favre took over here. Took over in Green Bay, the number of quarterbacks that have played for the Vikings. And Tarkenton's not one of them.
Around the league. There's Jackson gets away from the pressure. Kleinsasser with only a 2nd catch of the year. One of the popular Vikings. Former fullback, now a tight end. And quickly back to New York. Another update.
Hey, Dick and Randy, Jamal Lewis against his old squad. 7th touchdown of the season, a 1-yarder, 150 total yards by Cleveland, only 4 yards by Baltimore. Cleveland blanking the Raiders 10-0. Dick and Randy.
It's interesting. We're watching Chester Taylor, a former Raven. He was the backup to Jamal Lewis when Lewis set the single-game rushing record with the Ravens, and now back up here in Minnesota, and he's not backing up anyone. He's running right over him. It's Taylor for a touchdown.
Well, Dick, that backup running back in Baltimore was a badge of honor for Chester Taylor. Priest Holmes came from that spot to lead Kansas City to all those touchdowns, and he took a free agent shot, came to Minnesota. Minnesota drafted a running back this year, but man, not hard to figure out how valuable he is to this football team right now, because they're not missing a breath. And the first guy that congratulated him on the sideline, came down to greet him, Adrian Peterson.
Just as Taylor has supported the young rookie when he was demoted to get Peterson the start. Longwell gets the extra point. All Chester Taylor has done in this first half, 9-yard average, 81 yards on the ground, and 2 touchdowns. Minnesota back in front.
And you on the
Well, Minnesota strikes quickly, regains the lead 19-13 on that 64-yard drive in just 4 plays, with Taylor scoring from 38 yards out, his second of this opening half. Now Ryan Longwell has it teed up for Dominique Rhodes. Rhodes, who rushed for 113 yards in the Super Bowl, and he'll have to wait until where's the wind coming from?
Yeah. Where's Lucy? Pulling that one out from underneath Charlie Brown. See, look, it's a ghost. Ghost. It wasn't the wind. Unless they turn the air conditioning off suddenly.
Happened at Wimbledon this year. Not a serve, not a play. A server getting ready, and the net fell down. I mean, there's some weird things happening subterranean. Now we'll try it again. Rhodes, as we said, as a reserve, 113 yards rushing in the Colts Super Bowl win. That's the most ever in a Super Bowl by a reserve running back. Here he comes. And the former star at Midwestern State stopped after the 25-yard line.
Well, that last touchdown, we've talked so much about the left side. Herrera, Cook, Kleinsasser going against Burgess right there, and Warren Sapp. Look at the job they do. Nice combination by the guard and the backside tackle. Kleinsasser seals off the backside defensive end. Might have been originally designed to go left, but boy, that cutback. And there's the whole group right now. They are earning their paychecks up in that offensive line. Good combinations.
You saw Swigert was the one player who had a chance to make the tackle. He's back in the game. And following down is Culpepper, and another loss. And did he have to go after the ball as well? As he backed off the center, might have stepped on one of his linemen.
It's usually the lineman stepping on the quarterback.
That's what happened.
Jeremy,
Gallery.
yeah, Robert Gallery just pounds down on that foot.
I think one of Gallery's tattoos fell on there, on his foot there. That'll get you every time. Loss of 4. Curry, who's had a couple of long receptions, was in motion, and Fargas wrapped up by Pat the Package Williams. What a pair of tackles the Vikings possess in Kevin and Pat Williams.
When he comes across like this, it's got to look like, if you're Justin Fargas, it's like an eclipse. Suddenly there's light, and suddenly there's just nothing. There's nothing but big purple 94 in front of you. I got it. I'm going. Oops.
Pat has a Twin Cities auto detailing company. He put a little dent on Justin Fargas. 3rd and long. Over the middle and open is Curry, but he's not able to kick free from the tackle. As Dwight Smith and Charles Gordon able to catch him. It was Gordon by the heels just as Curry was picking up speed and had an open field ahead. Gordon saved the first down.
Oh, easily, because that was a nice job by Dante Culpepper checking down to about what was probably about his 3rd receiver. That should have been a first down if not for that tackle.
Leckler, as he continues to possess the best punting numbers in the history of the game, better average than the immortal Sammy Baugh, and he drives this one. Mewaldy Moore waits for it to come down, doesn't fair catch, and he pays the price as Jared Cooper there to make the stop. 54 yards, no return for Shane Leckler. He can kick it.
You remember that when that Super Bowl you're going to talk about, Dick? Who was kicking for him then?
Raymond Guy. And Kenny the Snake to Casper for a touchdown. Foreman from Tarkenton, and Tarkenton was able to hit Sammy White for a score, but it was Willie Brown, 75 yards on the interception return. The Hall of Famer still on the coaching staff of the Oakland Raiders. Memories from that 32-14 Super Bowl win, Super Bowl 11.
Yeah, Stanford Route says we see that play a couple times. Told him it took too long to score, though. Would it take 30 seconds to run that field?
They all over Willie Brown. Here's Tavares Jackson on the run. That's where he seems so comfortable. And Bobby Wade with the catch, and immediate hit by Hiram Eugene, who played his college ball at Louisiana Tech.
Well, the reason that play looks so wide open, though, goes all the way back to that offensive line and Chester Taylor and Mewelde Moore. When they've gotten that ball, the way they've pounded it, the defense has to respect that play action. And they don't know. They have to assume that Chester Taylor has the ball. That's why Tavares Jackson has so much air around him when he comes around that corner.
Hand off to Taylor. Didn't need much. He got enough for the first down to the 29-yard line. And a reminder coming up. Halftime, it's a Sprint halftime report with JB and company, almost all the company. We wish Shannon well as he recovers from a bug. The latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the Sprint halftime report. Well, the Green Bay Packers really stifled the offense of the Vikings last week in that 34-0 win. Only 247 yards. Today, they have 266 yards in the first half. Jackson continues to hit. Fires a pass out to 89 Robert Ferguson. Speaking of the Packers, a former Green Bay receiver of Brett Favre's. Well, here's the NFC North, surprising Green Bay, and I think most people are quite stunned by the great success of the Packers this year. They're obviously very good.
Right,
and the Lions as well.
And the Minnesota players, though, Dick, everyone we talked to were very positive. Says we're not out of it. This is the NFC. You know, you can go 10-6, you can go 9-7. Says you can go 8-8. You probably still make the playoffs.
Like the attitude of Brad Childress's team, they're still very positive. That's Terdell Sands wrapping up Taylor after a limited game. Well, we're time as we move into mid-November to think wild card. The Giants and Detroit at this moment would be battling it out for the wild card spots, with Washington right there. Vikings had 3-6. But they feel that in a couple of weeks, their wins, someone else's losses, and they're back in the photograph.
Well, they need a quarterback. They've had a running game today, and Tavares Jackson has not made the mistakes.
3rd and 4. They're after Jackson. He throws. That was a dangerous pass. He had Raiders all around the area, and he was fortunate that he missed his target.
However, just about the time you say something like that, it's almost like, well, this guy hasn't missed a field goal in 30 attempts. You know, Morrison, number 52, there's the left linebacker there right by the upright. He's going to go back into the middle of the field, and as Jackson gets grabbed, he really has a heck of a chance. Just a little bit high. That's the very play that Tavares Jackson kind of play he needs to eliminate from his repertoire.
Well, first time the Raiders have forced Chris Kluwe, the punter, on the field. Kluwe averaging 45.5 a kick, number 8 in the league. A wobbler. Tim Dwight, the veteran, says get out of the way, and the ball gets out of the field of play. And we'll see where they mark it for the Raiders. They will start their next possession all the way out to the 32-yard line. Well, Pro Bowl time, and you can vote for the 2008 teams at NFL.com/Pro Bowl and register to win a possible trip to the Pro Bowl game in 2008 in Hawaii, exclusively at NFL.com.
We talked about Tavares Jackson having to prove himself and whether he's the guy here. The Raiders think they've got their guy standing on the sideline in Jamarcus Russell.
Fargas can't get inside, has trouble making any money on the outside, maybe a yard, and E.J. Henderson and Ben Lieber, the linebackers, collaborate on the tackle.
Yeah.
Jamarcus Russell, there was a report distributed earlier that he was going to start the Denver game in 2 weeks. We talked with Lane Kiffin yesterday, asked him that very question, and he said, well, he may debut in 2 weeks.
Right.
More of a package thing. Is that what you think?
They've had a specific package design, 10, 15 play type thing designed for him and ready for the last couple of weeks.
Culpepper just gets away from pressure. Now dumps it off to his fullback, Justin Griffith. And Griffith, who gets a rare chance to handle the ball, his 10th catch of the season, is out to a first down at the 43.
Well, what a nice block by Justin Fargas working against Ben Lieber. Ben Lieber, the linebacker, he blitzes. Here he is standing here. Watch Justin Fargas. He literally picks him off. He scrapes him off of his quarterback. And he gets in there and gets all kinds of ribs and belly on that hit and knocks the wind out of Lieber.
Freed up Culpepper for the completion. And here's Fargas. That's the best run inside for the Raiders to the 49 of Minnesota. A gain of 7. Darren Sharper, the veteran safety, 3-time Pro Bowler, on the tackle.
You remember, we're talking, we've seen Dominic Rhodes, Dick. We've seen Justin Fargas. Lamont Jordan's their leading rusher. He was a healthy scratch today, because they really want to keep getting this look at Justin Fargas, and they wanted to get a chance to see some of Dominic Rhodes. They spent all that money on Rhodes, and they really haven't been able to look at much.
Under 3 minutes to go in this opening half. A 2nd and 3. And it's Fargas, left side, tumbles right at the yellow line. And E.J. Henderson's grasp.
Yeah, I guess the cliche is blue collar and hard working and everything else, but Justin Fargas has really impressed his coach Lane Kiffin by the attitude he's brought. Everything he has, every yard he has, every carry he gets is because Lane Kiffin has just said, this guy's proven to me he should be on the field.
Well, whether you're the youngest coach in the league or a crusty veteran head man, it's an ultimate compliment when a coach says that he inspires the rest of the team by his work ethic and attitude, and he's being rewarded now as my starter.
And that's what they need. Lane Kiffin knows full well when he gets around to Jamarcus Russell, when Jamarcus Russell is the guy here, they need more Justin Fargases around him. They need more talent on this team. I love the approach that Lane Kiffin's taking with Jamarcus Russell. Why just throw him to the dogs and let him just get beat to death? You know, and so often you see this happen to a young quarterback across the bay in San Francisco. You know, Smith is looked at now as just, oh, well, what's wrong with the guy? Maybe he can't play. He's had nobody around him for a couple of years. And if you throw Jamarcus Russell in the game, you're making the exact same type of a mistake that you're going to make with any young quarterback you play that's just going to get beaten up.
Yeah, this is the NFL graduate school, and you don't learn to get those A grades on the job. And he's able to watch from the sidelines, and if he does play, they want him to play at home where he'll have the home crowd support. 3rd and inches. Culpepper used to sneak these. Oh, play action. Wide open underneath is Curry, and a first down at the Minnesota 30-yard line. Boy, did that fool the Vikings. They were expecting something short on the ground, and Culpepper on the fake had all day to find Curry.
Well, you know it's a great fake when you've got safeties up and near the line of scrimmage biting on the play fake.
We're at the 2-minute warning. The Raiders driving to the 30, trailing by 6. Minutes to go and a chance to grab the lead before halftime. Dominic Rhodes now, a tailback. The fake to him, and then the throw wide to the fullback Griffith, and he's pushed out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. A gain of about 7.
And there's really a value of having a veteran quarterback like Dante Culpepper in here. Lane Kiffin's group, we talked about them not being terribly gifted, and where they are gifted, they're a little bit young. Having a Dante Culpepper in this situation, minute 54, you've got a full complement of timeouts on the other side of the ball. You still got 2 for your offense. You're in no hurry, and you want to keep that calm about you.
2nd and short. Deflection at the line of scrimmage, and Pat Williams makes another play at 6'3". Well, he went to Bloomington High School in the suburbs of Minneapolis, was a quarterback there, and then on to Fresno State. That's his picture from the senior yearbook. And now you look at him today, It looks as if he just walked out of the fraternity house. Said, hey, I might as well go out and see the Vikings today. He's
he said
32 now.
Said he ran the Delaware wing tee in high school, and they studied film of our guy Rich Gannon running that at Delaware.
That's right, Gannon. Then, of course, coming to Minnesota. Third down and a long 4. Culpepper firing for his tight end, Madsen. Madsen with a touchdown earlier, and good coverage. Denies Madsen another big catch. Tank Williams back there. So here comes Janikowski for another try.
Culpepper trying for that back shoulder throw, putting the ball, I think, in the perfect position. This is on Madsen because the ball goes right through his hands.
Hit him between the 8 and 5, didn't it?
Good back shoulder throw by Dante. Just terrible execution. He gives the kid a tap on the head, like get it next time, but man, could they use that.
42 yards for Janikowski. He made a 42-yard earlier. Not a good snap, but a good hold by Leckler. Good catch and hold, and Janikowski has his 3rd of the game. It's 19-16.
We wanted to move in 90 days, and that was our goal.
Selling a home can be a challenge.
I've been through this type of market before. I'm going to be there every step of the way to guide them through it.
Realtors I work with know the markets that they're in.
They know how to market it. They know how to sell it.
A realtor is making it seamless for us.
Interest rates are at historic lows, which means more buyers are in the market for a home like yours. Every market's different. Call a realtor today.
The market is always changing, and I'll always be ready for it.
We're back in Minneapolis, downtown, and a reminder, stay tuned. Sprint halftime report coming up with all the early scores and highlights. So bound to be a couple of highlights from this game on the Sprint halftime report. Ronald Curry with 4 catches for the Raiders as Culpepper has found his wide receiver 120 yards on 4 catches. That drive ends on Janikowski's 3rd field goal. Vikings have plenty of time. 1:40 left in the half, and here's Troy Williamson, former North Carolina, or check that former star at South Carolina, and Sidney Rice has followed the same program and is the number 2 receiver.
You know, Bill Cowher on the pregame show today.
Make the one in the end zone. He cost his team there. Remember, he allowed that one ball, and Asamoah.
Well, that was a great play by the defense too.
He's 9 for 11. And make that 10 for 12 as he hits Troy Williamson at the 35-yard line. Doesn't get out of bounds.
Coe, who's now the wide receiver coach at the Oakland Raiders, and he's settled in pretty well. Was handed the team with about 3 games to go last year.
Neweldy Moore in the backfield. The throw is outside to Bobby Wade. Wade tackled across the 40, but again not able to get out of bounds. So about a 51-yard field goal. Did hit a 55-yarder to beat the Bears earlier this year. Jackson unloads the big arm this time, and it's going to be incomplete. No flag as yet. Sidney Rice, the intended receiver. They got entangled there on the right sidelines. Fabian Washington, the fastest of the Raider. He's in allowing more of that bumping on both sides, receiver and defender.
They've always let the offensive guys push a little.
58 seconds. It tosses to Sidney Rice, and he slides to the 48-yard line of the Raiders. And Jackson. Neweldy Moore now the running back. Jackson in trouble, fumbles, and who's got it? The Raiders say they do. It's their 4th turnover. How about that? No fumble recoveries all season long, 9 games, and they get 3 here in the opening half today.
Great persistent sack by Clemens. Clemens comes around Bryant McKinney, because McKinney does a nice job, works him out, coming around from the backside. That's bad ball maintenance. You have to know that little clock in your brain, and I know Warren Sapp recovers the ball, but watch ready for it.
Raiders take it at the Minnesota 46. Raiders with 2 timeouts and 46 seconds left in the half. Fargas, nothing there at all. Well, there is something. It's
kick. Anything inside of 60 is reasonable for him, I think. Indoors.
We made the target line 40, which would be 57-58. To the sidelines to Tim Dwight, the veteran receiver, picked up by the Raiders a couple of weeks ago. No catch. He was bobbling as he.
Well, he put one from 59 in the net in warm-up, Stick.
Pressure is a screen to Fargas, has blockers. 40, has a first down to the 33, and quickly a timeout called by the Raiders with 10 seconds to go. One timeout left. 65. The screen pass against the blitz and a first down at the 33. Time for one play and a timeout. Dominic Rhodes, nothing there, and clock will be stopped at 3 seconds on the final timeout for the Raiders. Lieber.
Baronis is 8.
We had Baronis as 8, and we had 7 last week. Graham of Cincinnati. We are the field goal team. And Janikowski, whoa, look how high up on the screen that was from 49. Oh, what a foot. End of the half. How about that? 19-19. What a first 30 minutes. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Minnesota has the yards.
You'd have expect coming in that the passing yards and the rushing yards would have been totally flipped for both teams. Both teams having a lot of success. Dante Culpepper doesn't get out of the pocket well, but if you give him the time, he will absolutely shoot your eyes out. That guy can still really throw the ball.
And a reminder that today's game is brought to you on CBS in high definition. And Culpepper, when he found Ronald Curry on 4 occasions, it was good for 30 yards a catch. As Curry able to find not only his way open in the deep secondary, but made one of the top catches of the entire season. That's worth replaying sometime before we say goodbye from Minneapolis. That was a remarkable catch between 2 defenders, lost his helmet in the process, and still pulled down a 46-yard grab.
Well, there's few receivers, Dick, that have played in this league over the course of the last couple of decades that can claim one of those catches on their resumes.
Yeah, we talked about Chris Carter earlier. That was the kind of play Carter could make. Longwell gets us started here in the second half, and Dominique Rhodes brings it back for the Raiders. And not very far, and they're even going to be pushed back farther as a flag is down on the return. Marcus McCauley and Heath Farwell in on the tackle. Flag was thrown upfield. Jeff Triplett is our referee today.
Oops.
During the return, holding number 40 of the return team. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
Jared Cooper with the foul. Compare the two quarterbacks, the old and the new. Veteran Culpepper, 9 for 16, 174 yards, but no picks, 1 touchdown. And young Viking quarterback Jackson threw the ball well, but 1 interception and a fumble also lost. So from inside their 10, Culpepper and the Raiders. And it's Fargas charging straight ahead. Good carry up the middle to the 14-yard line. Well, back in the yesteryear, Minnesota's quarterback for 7 seasons. Culpepper with a tremendous arm that he still possesses, but he also was a real threat outside the pocket. He was tough to tackle, and he didn't mind running.
It wasn't that long ago, Dick, that Dante Culpepper had one of the best years a quarterback has ever had. He just happened to do it in the same year that the best year a quarterback has had in a long time occurred.
And it's Kevin Williams charging into the backfield for the Vikings to dump Justin Fargas.
Well, it's the second eclipse of the game for Justin Fargas. He gets the ball, he sees light, and suddenly there's nothing but defensive tackle just eating him up. Robert Gallery on that last play inside at that left guard position just got ran through.
Cornell Green, we understand, for the Raiders injured, so he's out with a foot. And Paul McQuiston has replaced him at right tackle. 3rd and long. Curry, bottom of your screen, but it's the handoff to Fargas, and he has some daylight. Fights his way out to the 19-yard line and a first down. Justin Fargas. Good effort by this former Southern California star.
Again, nice penetration by Williams at the left defensive tackle position. Just comes screaming up the field, but it almost works against him. When he gets that penetration, Justin Fargas just manages to shrug him off.
Cedric Griffin over to make the tackle. That's the first time the Raiders have picked up the first down running the ball today.
It's the first time Dante Culpepper's seen 3 plays without a blitz, too.
Going to try to sweep it with Farkas the other way, and no gain, maybe a loss of a yard, a flag, late flag thrown. DJ Henderson first to meet the ball carrier.
Well, it was 3 plays, and now it's going to be the 4th. That was a run blitz by that Minnesota defense. You got holding against the Raiders.
Holding, number 79 in the offense. Passing distance to the goal, still first down.
And McQuiston replacing Cornell Green at tackle. He's the second year out of Weber State, 6'6" and 315. Had his hands full. Got caught.
See, now you had 3 pretty clean plays. The 4th play was a run blitz, Dick. Now you have the Raiders backed up into that spot again about the 9-10 yard line. Perfect place to bring the blitz and go after them.
The Raiders have committed 14 holding penalties this year, more than any team in the league. And they're not calling them the way they used to. Shotgun. Screen it. Fargas drops the ball. That's a play that worked effectively at the end of the first half. Fargas might have been guilty of running before he caught it. One of the Raiders slow getting up.
As Jeremy Newberry was peeling back from his center position on that screen pass. Nice play call by Lane Kiffin and company for the screen, because they were bringing the blitz, bringing the safety blitz off the corner.
So with a timeout early here in the third quarter, we'll take a break. Back on, so it appears the injury not serious. Here's Fargas out to the 14-yard line. Back in Minneapolis, Jeremy Newberry, helmet back on, so it appears the injury not serious. Here's Fargas out to the 14-yard line, into the arms of Pat Williams.
Newberry coming back into the game.
Chris Morris for the 1 snap off the bench, and he was the last healthy lineman available to Lane Kiffin.
Well, former starter at center and starter at guard, Jake Grove, was inactive today.
Now 3rd down and 15 for Dante Culpepper, and the Raiders deep in their own end. Vikings show blitz. Fargas turns the corner and tripped up at the 20, falls forward to the 21. Well, that'll be 8 yards shy of a first down. Cedric Griffin up from a corner to make the tackle. So out comes Shane Leckler. Rooted one out 54 yards after a short 33-yard kick. Totally not like Leckler at all.
Normally you say it's a great opportunity for field position, Dick, but with the altitude he gets.
Bombs this one. Moore waiting for it to come down. Doesn't fair catch. And is tackled by Chris Johnson at the 32-yard line. First possession for the Vikings with 4 minutes gone in the third quarter. Building the state of Minnesota over in St. Paul. As we resume action here early in the third period, 19 all, and the first chance for Tavares Jackson and the Viking defense here in the second half. From the 32. Taylor, what a move, 40. This is going to put him over the 100-yard mark, and he's not stopped till he's inside the 40-yard line. Nnamdi Asamoah finally gets Chester Taylor to the carpet.
Yeah, but Dick, this is part blocking and part just God-given talent. Adrian Peterson has the same ability that all the great runners do. He can go sideways and not lose a stitch of speed. That jump start, that jump cut, that puts defenders straight on their face.
29 yards for number 29, and he has 114 in the game, and I believe that's Nnamdi Asamoah who made the low tackle. Took the brunt of the forward charge of the ball carrier in delivering the tackle. Here it is. Yeah, right into the helmet.
It's Ford's year-end celebration, our biggest event, with the best offers of the year on the hottest selling crossover, Edge, and the new restyled Focus, both with Sync powered by Microsoft, a Ford Motor Company exclusive.
Call Sarah.
Nnamdi Asomugha walking gingerly off the field. He took the brunt of the tackle right in the helmet. And obviously in some pain as he leaves the field.
Well, he takes a knee from Chester Taylor right about that Raider logo on the other side of his helmet.
So the top defensive back for the Raiders takes a seat, and Fabian Washington comes in to replace him. Washington will play the left corner and route the right.
Tavares goes for a timeout.
After all of that, and Tavares Jackson trying to sort out the call and the defense. Another timeout. Welcome back to Minneapolis. Nick Enberg and Randy Cross, our producer Bob Monsbach, Suzanne Smith directing the action with our top crew of men and women here at CBS Sports. Ball at the 39. Tavares Jackson screen to Taylor, runs away from the defense and vaults his way inside the 25-yard line. Taylor, replacing the injured rookie Adrian Peterson, is having a superb game. Sapp trailing the play, and Weigert in the secondary finally got him down.
And it's not like the Raiders aren't near Taylor. They're getting all around him, but he's getting blocks like the one right in front of him by Matt Burke, who just barely gets down in time without tripping Chester Taylor. And the Raiders defensive line on these screens are near him. They just accelerates away from him.
15 more yards for Taylor, and Neweldy more, and he may have lost the ball, but it's fallen on by the tight end Shanko, and that was fortunate for the Vikings, who have coughed up 3 fumbles in the game and an interception. Here's another fumble.
Well, if you're going to fight and you're going to stand up, defenders are trained. They're trained from a young age to rip that thing out of there.
John Alston, a backup linebacker from Stanford, 94, ripped it out. Loss of 2 on the play. Taylor back in. Jackson throws it away. Tony Richardson was in the area, but he was well covered by Michael Huff. You could hear the crowd start to build to a crescendo as if to say, watch out, someone's behind you, Tavares.
Well, it was a nice job by Tavares Jackson of throwing that thing out of bounds when he did. I don't know if he saw and or felt that rush coming from the backside with Derek Burgess, but it was a wise decision by Brad Childress' quarterback. I like the timeout he took when the defense didn't look right to him. I like the fact that he threw that away.
And you like the fact that he's using a mouthpiece. You just saw him take it off the helmet. He wasn't employing that device earlier in the year. Handed off inside to Taylor, and he plows his way to the 20, but that'll bring up 4th down and 6. Thomas Howard, the tackler, and out comes the field goal unit.
You see the mouthpiece that Jackson takes and puts on his helmet. Said he's had one when he got here, but he didn't see the veteran guys wearing them, so I don't have to wear a mouthpiece. And then 2 weeks ago against San Diego, he took that hit to the head, and he said, you know, if I was wearing a mouthpiece now, I'm convinced I wouldn't have had that concussion. And few players realize how important those are to prevent concussions.
Longwell from 38 to give the Vikings the lead. And he continues to be perfect inside the 45. That's 27 in a row for Longwell. Vikings back in front by 3. 8 yards in 6 plays. The big play in the series was that 29-yard run by Chester Taylor. Dominique Rhodes waits for Longwell's kick at the 10. Good coverage by the Vikings as Rhodes backdoors it out to the 23. Well, Thanksgiving night, folks, gather around for some CSI fun and games. It's a crazy case of whodunit on a new episode of CSI. Thanksgiving Thursday, 9, 8 Central here on CBS.
You know, for Lane Kiffin and the Raiders, they started out a fire with the running game, and they were 2-2 when led the league in rushing. Made a trip to San Diego, and ever since then, it seems like their running game and their chances have gone down.
Culpepper changes his play. Raiders trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. Culpepper beats the play clock, fires over the middle, complete to Tim Dwight, and Dwight has his second catch as a Raider, and it's good for about 17 to match his number. He has one catch previously in the Houston game, and it went for a touchdown, 28 yards.
Beautiful job. When you've got all those players up, you know behind it you've got some man coverage. It's just a matter of picking out which one has got the man, and the man in that case was Tim Dwight, well known for his punt returns and quickness, and quickly gets open.
They count the skid and a 19-yard gain, and now it's Fargas breaking into the secondary and down to the 46 of Minnesota before Griffin can get him to the turf.
You know, Dick, I was talking about the running game, and we were there in that San Diego game after that nice start that they had gotten off to. It'd been the turnovers. We know the turnovers are still sort of happening in places, not to them today, but the record 0-5 because that running game's fallen off the map.
13 on the last Fargas run, and Fargas again for a couple into Kevin Williams' big body. Well, it's been quite a game for those of you joining us around the country. The Vikings scored early every way they could. Touchdown, safety, field goal, and then the fumbles and interception. 4 turnovers in the first half. Takeaways by the Raiders led to field goal opportunities, and 4 by Janikowski, a 42, 42, 30, and 49. Tied at 19 at the half, and now a Longwell field goal here in the third period. Vikings back in front. Dominique Rhodes in for a carry, and he gets maybe a yard. And there have been some spectacular plays in this game.
How about this first one?
Trick play that goes for 79 yards with wide receiver Rice throwing to Shanko. Then the safety on the penalty, and look at this catch by Curry. 2 men on him. Loses the helmet, not the ball. And Taylor has just had it his way throughout the game, running and catching the ball. 120 yards rushing alone for Chester Taylor, replacing the injured star Adrian Peterson. 3rd and 7, Culpepper. Throws not close for Porter.
Wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed. He was throwing that one to the Vikings coaches. He was getting the blitz, and they were getting close to him. He felt it, and he smartly got rid of it.
And he was about to be wedged down by the Minnesota pressure. So here's Leckler on a short field. Line of scrimmage, the 44. Noelde Moore back at the 9 for Minnesota.
Now the goal here is to get it inside the 10. Not inside the 20, inside the 10 here.
He's liable to scrape the roof of this dome with this one. Now he's going to do one of those reverse spin, hit the bottom angle of the ball, and a more fair catch at the 13-yard line. 5:46 left, third quarter. Minnesota by 3. As you look at the leaders around the league in the early games, 120 yards and 2 touchdowns, best for any runner, and Ronald Curry's 120 in catches, just 4.
Remember 2 weeks ago, Dick, when Adrian Peterson set that record of 296 yards, he had 253 in the second half. So when you looked at that chart 2 weeks ago, he was nowhere on that thing.
That's right. And there was a warning of what Peterson might accomplish earlier against Chicago. He had a 224-yard rushing game. I don't think any rookie has ever had 2 200-yard games in history. He is special. Can't wait to see him in person.
And what a luxury to have a guy like Chester Taylor sitting here to pick up the slack.
Top everything else, they say, around the Twin Cities. Kid's got an incandescent smile. He wins you over just on looks alone. Taylor has been pounding away, but it's Jackson throwing one up high and short. Intended for Robert Ferguson, but not close. Well, against the Chargers, after just a so-so first half, Peterson just could not be touched.
Just your standard cut it up 43 one half, 253 the second half.
It's standard. Yeah, you deserved a promenade here, a little prance in the end zone.
And that uniform he wore that day made a little trip earlier this week to Canton.
Yeah, he didn't get a Hall of Fame ring, but he got a little gift from the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I don't know about the trade he
False
got.
start, number 64, the offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Anthony Herrera. Well, on Thursday here in Minneapolis, Peterson did donate to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That's Joe Horrigan from the Hall. His jersey and pants, kept his shoes and his gloves. Got a souvenir back from the Hall of Fame. He said, someday I hope I get something that's shinier. And if he stays healthy,
it looks
he'll
just
be there.
like him. Yeah, he is something. Like I said earlier, though, I got to hope, and I hope someone close to him is saying, when you're 100%, come back.
That's to Sidney Rice. Complete short of the first down at the 20-yard line with Fabian Washington on the coverage. Well, the good news for Viking fans, now that Minnesota's over the 20-point mark this year, when they've scored 20, those are their 3 wins. Under 20, they're 0-6. But just a 3-point lead against the Raiders and a 3rd and 7 coming up. Very quiet crowd here under the dome today.
Yeah, this is Minnesota. They're taking that Missouri show me attitude. They want something to happen.
Under pressure, and Jackson has to eat it. And wisely didn't throw. He up in the air for a jump pass, and the Raiders had that so well covered. Chris Clemens, his 2nd sack today. He has 5 on the year to lead the Raiders.
That was clamping the vice. That was 4 defensive linemen, and you had Morrison coming in on the blitz. Clemens comes in underneath. Little gain with Warren Sapp. The pocket collapses. And like you said, Tavares Jackson thought about that jump pass and then thought better.
Sometimes a sack is a good thing. Tim Dwight lets the ball bounce, and now fields at the 45. He's dangerous in the open field, and in Iowa as a high schooler in Iowa City, he won the state 200 meters 4 consecutive years. He was the fastest guy around, then went on to matriculate at the University of Iowa and has had a good NFL career, including 3 kickoff return touchdowns, 1 in the Super Bowl for Atlanta.
And had a fabulous influence on a guy that's butted into a legitimate NFL star, Wes Welker. When Welker originally came to San Diego, Tim Dwight was there, and he really took the young Welker under his wing and taught him a lot of good things.
They could trade sport coats, couldn't they? Fake to Fargas. Lots of time for Culpepper. Now it breaks down. He's able to kick his way free. Anybody open? Yes, Porter. And he's to the 15-yard line. Second catch of the day for Porter, and what a job by the veteran Culpepper.
Well, he doesn't scramble well, Dick, but he scrambles well enough. Barely gets his feet out. Ben Lieber can't close quick enough. I talk about a helpless feeling. If you're Macaulay, 31, that's a helpless feeling because he just zipped that ball over your head. I mean, Curry feels kind of helpless all there by himself, but when you're running for your life, you're not looking for the most open guy. You're looking for a open guy.
And the open guy got 31 yards. Fargas. He does hit the hole at full speed, but there's too many purple jerseys there. The first to hit him, Ben Lieber.
This really has been something for the Raiders that they have not shown on a regular basis. That's consistent movement on this offense. They've ran the ball fairly effectively, not great, but fairly effectively. And Lane Kiffin's got a performance today out of Dante Culpepper with some nice passes, a couple of unbelievable catches by guys like Curry. But the ball's been moved, and they put points on the board.
Janikowski getting 12 of those on 4 field goals, and that's where they rest now in field goal range. There's going to be a false start as
McQuiston raised out of his stance a little bit.
Start, number 79 in the offense. 5-yard penalty. It's still second down.
And it was Brian Robinson, the rookie from Texas at defensive end, who charged on the movement. Robinson is second among rookies in the league in sacks with 3.5. He's produced well as a 4th-round pick of Minnesota. Robinson and Edwards were the ones tackling Culpepper in the end zone, forcing him to make a pass that was illegal, and a safety resulted. And Culpepper He has it knocked away, and the Raiders able to cover it. No, it's not free, and the Vikings have it. Two Raiders fought each other for the ball and donated it to Minnesota. Chad Greenway recovered.
Yeah, I might replay this. My guys, my coaches upstairs, get a look at this if I'm Lane Kiffin. I'm not completely sure if that wasn't a little arm fake, a pump fake. From first look at it, it didn't look like it just blew out of his hand. Now the first fake right there, when he starts running, the ball isn't hit. It didn't look like it is hit. I was wrong.
So credit Brian Robinson with a forced fumble, and he gets a sack with it to move up to 4.5. Second only to Okoye among rookies in the league. Yeah. Two Raiders right there. They knocked it away from one another, and Greenway said thank you very much. And here comes the reverse to Troy Williamson. He's got the speed, and he's crossed midfield to the Raider 47-yard line.
This Viking offense has the ability to go from bantamweight to heavyweight kind of whenever it wants to. It'll be pesky and it'll hit you with jabs and be quick and move, and then it'll go back to the heavyweight and run the ball and pound you. And that was just part of the bantamweight with a little reverse and using the speed of Williamson.
Good for 26 yards. First down at the Raider 48. Chester Taylor now. Fake to Taylor. Deep throw complete. It's Bobby Wade at the Raider 32. It's getting interesting around the league. JB, what do you have for us?
Hey, Dick and Randy, what I've got, take a look here at Brody Crowell of Kansas City hooking up with the rookie Dwayne Bowe. Cross, look at that. Nice touch, nice catch. It's all knotted at 10 in Indy. This into the fourth. Dick Enberg, Randy Cross.
We saw that Dwayne Bowe earlier. Kansas City out at San Diego. He's from LSU. Was one of the targets of Jamarcus Russell with the Bayou Tigers.
And we've just seen an NFL throw here by Jamarcus, Dick. That was two young quarterbacks throwing real NFL passes.
Tavares with his throw, and now the give to Taylor, and with the passing game opening up things for the run. Chester Taylor now is moved to 129 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. What a day. There's the first touchdown early in the game, second play of the game. Then his longest run for a touchdown, 38 yards. And that one around the 30-yard mark with a screen. Taylor, short yardage this time, but enough for the first down. Robert Thomas, the tackler. JB has more in New York.
Hey, Dick and Randy, Jacksonville looking awfully good. Take a look at David Garrard out of the I formation. Little soft touch pass there to the tight end, Mercedes Lewis. Jacksonville on top, 24-10. That in the fourth. Oh, boy. Indianapolis right in their sights. Back to Dick and Randy.
Yeah, the Jaguars welcoming back Garrard, who was going into the game today, had not been intercepted all season.
Did you see that block on Sean Merriman? I think it was Jones-Drew put him right on his tail.
There's a give to Rice off a reverse, and then the pass incomplete. Intended for Troy Williams.
Did he get it?
They're going to call that. From our angle, that might have hit the ground, but apparently he was able to get his hands underneath it in front of Stanford Route.
Well, when you're a quarterback, you worry about what people think when you throw a pass like that. If you're Tavares Jackson, you get semi-booed. If you're Sidney Rice and you're a wide receiver, people get awful excited when you're able to complete a pass like that.
Rice's second pass. He had a 79-yarder and a trick play to open the game.
What a rating.
He did catch it. What the challenge might present, but apparently will not be challenged by the Raiders. It was a terrific catch of a very difficult ball by Williamson to give the Vikings a first and goal at the 6-yard line opening the fourth quarter.
Williamson wants to take a snap. He's got that 2-for-2 thing going with as a quarterback. Figures why not throw one more.
Give is to Taylor, who just charges into the end zone. You talk about blocking. That was just a shield for Taylor, and he rode the back of those great linemen up front. Hutchison, McKinney, Burke clearing the path.
That was 100% rugby, because he jumps on the scrum right here. Watch him jump on the scrum, and then the scrum takes him in. With you. Look at that. That is straight. I mean, I played rugby for a couple years at UCLA. That is just a mass of bodies.
He surfed his way into the end zone, didn't he?
The purple shirts inside that scrum, inside that ball, wouldn't let him come to the ground until he was in the end zone.
Longwell's point after. And there was a big turnabout in this game in the second half. The fumble by Culpepper as the Raiders were going in, and then the Vikings take it all the way to the other end. And Chester Taylor has the trifecta, his third touchdown of the day, 137 yards rushing. He better take some of those big boys up in front, those wearing the big pads out to dinner tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, and young Robeson, the defensive end, has had a hand in 9 of these points so far today, and the safety, and then causing that fumble, setting up this touchdown.
Oh, a 10-point lead for the Vikings early in the fourth. And Sidney Rice, 2 passes, one for 79 yards and the other for 15. Hadn't thrown a pass this year, and he's got 94 yards going. A 21-year-old from South Carolina, youngest guy on this Viking roster. Obviously did a little quarterbacking back in high school at Gaffney, South Carolina. The Vikings take advantage of their first takeaway in the game.
Now up by 10, you're really going to see blitzing coming after Dante Culpepper in this Raiders offense.
Longwell roots it high to the end zone. Dominic Rhodes changes direction and ad-libs his way to the 25. They're met by Mike Doss. Well, the Subway postgame show following our action from Minneapolis. Stay tuned. We'll go back to New York for all the scores and highlights on the Subway postgame show. Well, Culpepper and the Raider offense on the field at the 25. Fargas the tailback. Fargas hit in the backfield. What penetration by Ray Edwards, slicing in off his defensive end position. Edwards only 22 in his second year from Purdue. Been very productive this year. 3 sacks and 3 forced fumbles.
Yeah, you have to be impressed by this front 7 of the Minnesota Vikings coming off that bad performance last week by Green Bay. They really want to make a point and wanted to make a point coming into this game that they're a much better defense than they showed last week.
Culpepper on 2nd and 11. Here comes the blitz and the quick throw to Porter. Porter twisted down the corner by Cedric Griffin. Short of the first down at the 32.
That was a nice read by Dante Culpepper, Dick. Minnesota had only 2 linebackers in the game, 4 down linemen, and they brought both linebackers. Had to get rid of it very quickly and just spun that thing out to Porter.
They spot progress at the 31, so it's 3rd and 4. Porter left, Tim Dwight to the right, and Ronald Curry slotted right. Quick throw to Porter, right on the money at the 43 and a first down in front of Cedric Griffin.
See, now Minnesota, instead of blitzing, has come out in a nickel. 4 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, 5 defensive backs, and without the extra pressure that the blitz has brought, Dante Culpepper's done a very nice job of being able to take Leslie Frazier's defense a little bit apart here early on in this drive. I'm not sure if the Vikings don't have to go back to bring in the heat.
Culpepper, good numbers today, 13 out of 22 for 242 yards and a touchdown. And he's going deep again, but no one there. Oh, Jerry Porter
Porter wide open in the hole between the safety and the cornerback, though, Dick.
That would have been a 30-yard pass, but Culpepper was expecting him to go deep.
Well, the goofy thing is Porter takes off at a pretty good clip right here, heading this way, but right about at the end of that arrow, he starts to slow down and kind of semi-stops. Culpepper's expecting him to keep going. See, look at him stop. And he's wide. I mean, just standing there by himself.
But there's no way a quarterback can read that move. I mean, he's got to expect him to be going deep. Culpepper just crushed from behind by Erasmus James. His first sack of the game and first of the season.
Erasmus James, very familiar. Yesterday was the Wisconsin-Minnesota game. A lot of Badger fans here in Minneapolis, and Erasmus James played for Wisconsin, played in a Rose Bowl or so, and was a #1 draft pick here. And this is why he was brought here. He hasn't had a chance to do a whole lot of it. Hasn't been healthy, but man, from the time that ball was snapped, I don't think he took a give-up step. He was going full speed.
Culpepper in the crosshairs all the way. 4 sacks now for the Vikings today. 3rd and 18 and a flag down and no play. False start against the Raiders. One of the wide receivers, I believe, out of the blocks prematurely.
False start. Number 89. Offense. 5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
Ronald Curry, and that is the 63rd offensive penalty this year by the Raiders, more than anyone in the NFL. And then surprisingly, they committed only 10 penalties on defense this season, one of the lowest in the league.
In this case, 1 out of 2 is bad.
Yeah, you don't want that 50%. And here, the long yardage, do you gamble maybe on a draw? You just take something that they'll give you. It's pretty tough to get a first down out of 3rd and 23, but let's see. Yeah, screen it to Vargas and short yardage to the 31. Well done by Chad Greenway. Good-looking linebacker from Iowa. #1 pick a year ago, was injured in the preseason. Didn't play it down all last year, but when you watch him on tape, you see a guy that can run sideline to sideline in Greenway.
Hard to say an injury was a good thing, Dick, but when Chad Greenway blew his ACL out last year, he was forced to sit back and look at football, learn this defense, got physically stronger, didn't lose any speed.
Leckler to punt again. Weldy Moore back at the 15. Oh, man, can he kick? Look at this one. That has to have a flight attendant on it. Down. No. Hit the goal line for the touchback. Nearly perfect. It stopped at the 1, but he kicked it so far the Raiders Gunners couldn't get there in time. Hiram Eugene had a chance. 69-yard punt.
How did we get roped into this?
Don't worry. I got enough for both of us.
Endless refreshment from start to finish. Bud Light keeps it coming.
First time at the Opera, boys?
Ode to the new Subway Feast. This ain't a sandwich. It's a runaway 18-wheeler of flavor barreling through Tasty Town. And your appetite is slowly crossing its path. Wham! Freshly baked bread hauling a massive cargo of Black Forest ham, roast beef, turkey, pepperoni, and salami. The new Subway Feast. Watch out. Here comes dinner or lunch. Just don't call it a snack. Subway. Eat fresh.
With seats that swivel 180 degrees, a one-touch power folding third row, and exclusive Sirius backseat TV with dual DVDs. It's proof that parents can be as smart as their kids. The all-new Chrysler Town & Country, with the best powertrain warranty in the business. Chrysler, engineered beautifully.
She's beautiful. She's sexy. She's family.
What kind of man would hit on his future stepsister?
You're just making it hotter for him.
Jenny McCarthy in a new 2.5 Men. Then, there's nothing like meeting your future mother-in-law
I just forgot my kelp shampoo.
in the flesh.
Here they are. There they are.
A new rules and engagement after 2.5 Men tomorrow.
Yeah, some of the fans haven't forgotten the contributions of Culpepper and Moss and some glory years here in Minnesota, now playing with other NFL companies. Chester Taylor, one of the few times today that the Raiders have denied him a sizable gain. He's got a combination that's working toward 200 yards this afternoon, Taylor. And he's a very somber guy. He's got a poker face, whether it's going well or not well. He doesn't change expression. One thing all the coaches talked about was Taylor, when he heard the word that Peterson was going to become the starter, accepted it, supported the rookie, and now he gets his chance today and shows that he's as good a backup as there is in the league. Jackson. Down he goes at the 20, and that'll be a loss. So a sack will be credited to Derek Burgess. He was trying to pass.
He could have tried to dump it off and squeeze it in to Chester Taylor, but he chose just to pull it down and try to get back to the line of scrimmage. Probably a pretty good choice on his part. There wasn't much there for him to do. It was solely designed to be a quick dump off, and the Raiders defense did a nice job of diagnosing it and taking it away.
Minnesota 13 straight third downs without converting. They need 10 here. Raiders loosen their defense. And Jackson on a quarterback draw. He can run, and he's got the first down. First scramble of the day, or designed run, produces 12 yards and a first down. Former Alabama State Hornet.
He just does a quick little imitation of a young Dante Culpepper back in the day with Minnesota, and it's the part of the offense that he can add with the ability to do that. I think that helps add to the intrigue for Brad Childress. Brad Childress will find himself a franchise quarterback here. He's not sure if he has one in Tavares Jackson yet. He's got Holcomb and he's got Bollinger. He knows those guys aren't franchise quarterbacks. If not, he'll draft one.
Now we talked about the Minnesota rushing offense, #1 in the league. And while they get short yardage on that play, without Adrian Peterson, they've rushed for 195 yards today.
Well, they've got like I said, a very good offensive line, also a really good running back coach. Adrian Peterson and Chester Taylor share Eric Bieniemy. If that name sounds familiar, he ran for the Colorado Buffaloes. He played some in the NFL, and he's coached quite a few very good running backs. In fact, he recruited Adrian Peterson to UCLA when he was down there with the Bruins.
And of course, on the other side, your old teammate Tom Rathman is the running back coach with the Raiders. The throw by Jackson. There's a bullet complete to the 45. Troy Williamson has another Viking first down.
And getting this passing game going is a good thing for all those running backs we're talking about, Dick, because defense like Oakland's playing right now is predicated on the whole rip and tear. If you're going to run the ball, you have to know that every defender coming in there isn't always interested in tackling you. They're tackling that ball, trying to get that arm in there and rip and tear it away from you.
Tavares Jackson 15 for 20 and a total of 153 yards and a touchdown. And the clock running now at the midpoint of this fourth quarter. 7.5 to go. Jackson flag down, incomplete as he tried to hit his tight end Visante Shenko.
Personal foul, leg whip, number 29. Thank you. 15-yard penalty, still first down.
Derek Burgess appreciated that call.
He said thank you.
Yeah, well, I think he was the recipient. Chester Taylor was the violator, and Derek Burgess, number 56 in the bottom of the screen there, defensive end, was the violated. Here comes the leg whip. He's going low, and the right leg comes around right there. And you don't always have to catch good meat on that with that leg coming around like that. If you miss and you make it that obvious, they're going to call it.
You certainly didn't have that in your repertoire, did you? Never mind.
I couldn't spell that.
First down and 20. Taylor. Breaking tackles. Look at the speed. Oh my, making up for the penalty. Stuart Schweigert finally tackles him. But he moves now. That should get him to 200 total yards in the game.
No surprise he's going over the left side. Hutchinson, McKinney getting a nice block out in front by Kirk, and then just breaking tackles. Running a little bit mad, running a little hungry, and he's, I got your leg whip. Watch me whip these legs right now once they hand me the ball.
Kirk Morrison couldn't bring him down. Thomas Howard had a shot at him. He failed as well. So did Tyler Brayton, as he has a total of 196 yards. Chester Taylor today. It's Tahi in for a play here to give Taylor a blow, and the Tongan has about 3 to the midfield stripe.
And Rob Ryan, that defensive coordinator, Dick, you've got to stay on the attack. You've got to find a way. I mean, it's kind of a raw meat defense coached by a raw meat looking guy. You know, that's the way they have to approach it. That's how they have to go after the Minnesota Vikings, is just try to rip and tear that thing out of there.
Of course, he learned his defense early from his great coaching dad, Buddy Ryan, just as Lane Kiffin from his dad, the defensive coordinator, Monty Kiffin, down at Tampa Bay.
Well, you got to go off the field right here if you're the Oakland Raiders.
3rd and 5, and Jackson's going to run it again. And he's chased to the border and out of bounds for no gain. So the punting team will come on for Minnesota. Chris Carr playing at a corner with the injury to Nnamdi Asamoah. He went out with a head injury earlier in the game. Carr employed at the corner.
If you have your druthers, you would like to put a little bit of pressure on Clue. Just maybe make him pound this thing and put it in the end zone to improve your field position. There's a pretty good chance you're going to get bad field position if he hits this right.
He's been one of the best in the league, and inside the 20 22 times. That equals a record. Will this one make it? Boy, I have a good angle. Let's see where they mark it. Oh, what a beautiful. That is the old-fashioned coffin corner. Although it's not quite as good as it appeared, they line it up at the 8-yard line, and an injured Raider on the play. And they've not done much here in the second half. 3 punts, and when they did have field position, the fumble by Culpepper deep in Viking territory. The injured Raider was Hiram Eugene. He did leave the field under his own power. Culpepper dumps it off underneath to Tim Dwight. Short yardage at the 14-yard line. There's Hiram Eugene, and pointing at his head or neck would be one of those football stingers.
Yeah, the Vikings are back in that nickel defense. 2 linebackers, Lieber and Henderson.
Fargas, the lone back, and charging into the backfield was Kanechi Udeza, the defensive end. Was he drawn off? No.
Offside, unabated to the quarterback, number 95, the defense. It's a 5-yard penalty, results in a first down.
Well, you give us a precursor, Randy's crosstalk. How's it developed today, partner?
Well, it has been about the Oakland D for all the wrong reasons, because Minnesota, after Adrian Peterson, has done one heck of a job. Chester Taylor's put on a show. Tavares Jackson has done a very efficient job. They've generated over 450 yards offense.
Peterson's saying maybe I should get healthy. That Taylor guy's pretty good. 1,200 yards good last year. They come with a blitz, and Culpepper able to loft it to Porter as the defender ran away from the play. Marcus McCauley, the Fresno State rookie, didn't turn around in time, and that high lob found welcome hands.
In school, you know, education rarely physically hurt, but education can be kind of painful for a young player. And McCauley has, the last few weeks, gotten some lessons, and it's another example. You can't assume anything when you're running down with a receiver, especially with a veteran quarterback like Dante Culpepper throwing to a veteran like Porter.
28 yards gets Oakland to the 300 mark. 4:45 left here in the fourth quarter. Raiders down by 10. They have all their timeouts. Screen it to Fargas, and he sprints down to the 41, and another Oakland first down. Now this Raider team, while they have only 2 wins and they're trying to snap the 5-game losing streak, some of their losses have been so close. How about the Denver game with the timeout denying the field goal, and they lost by 2 to Kansas City 12-10. Tennessee beat them 13-9. And now they're scoring some points today, but trailing by 10 to the sidelines, incomplete, intended for tight end Zach Miller.
Yeah, it's not unrealistic when you look at the standings in the AFC West, Dick, that San Diego's trailing, Kansas City's trailing, Denver is going to play Monday night. If the Raiders can rally and find a way somehow to make up this 10-point deficit here late.
I understand that Jacksonville has a 7-point lead currently against San Diego, and the Chiefs are still tied with Indianapolis. 1:45 to go.
Can you say Adam Vinatieri?
He couldn't
Can he
say
miss
it
2 in
last
a
week.
row?
No way. I still don't believe I saw that. Culpepper goes underneath to the safety valve tight end, and Miller able to get himself out of bounds. Zach Miller has his initial catch of the game. Started with 21. This 2nd-round pick out of Arizona State.
How many young football players start in front of their older brother on the collegiate level?
That is quite a story, isn't it? And his brother's still in school. Had a medical year off. Brent is a senior tight end at Arizona State. They bookended the line with the Sun Devils for 2 years.
Fumble.
False start.
False start. Number 66 for the offense. 5-yard penalty. It's still a 3rd down.
Yeah, it's a killer penalty. 3rd down and 2. The other team's end of the field, and now a 3rd and 7. 9th penalty today for the Raiders.
Yeah, it's one thing Lane Kiffin knows, though. It's at this point you have to overcome it. But when you look back at it in retrospect after a game like that, you have to say to yourself, you know what? Teams that aren't very good make those kind of mistakes. We have to stop making those kind of mistakes.
So Culpepper into the shotgun with Fargas. 2 wides left, 2 right. And here comes the blitz. And Culpepper able to get away, but not enough for the 1st down as he's the 34-yard line. Charles Gordon, an extra defensive back, made the tackle. It'll be 4th down and a long 3.
Remember, you're down 10. You need that field goal and a touchdown, and then it's up to you. You want to force overtime if you get in that position, but you need 10. So you take this field goal first. There's 3:38 left in the game. Timeouts are you've still got 3. The Vikings have 2, and you have a long-range kicker.
52 yards would equal his longest of the year and his 5th of the game. And he's got it. 5 for 5, Janikowski. And the Raiders are within a touchdown.
Vikings brake lines, they've been cut.
He'll go right off a cliff.
Yeah, whatever.
How dare he make a home-style melt?
The new BK Bacon Double Homestyle Melt. Better than Mom can make.
I honestly don't think I can handle any more people trying to kill me.
Get used to it. Live free or die hard. Tuesday.
Have you done stuff like that before?
What if your entire business could learn to minimize risks? Well, off the course anyway, because change happens. Zurich.
We gave it a premium MyGig media system for music, photos, and 3D maps. Added leather-trimmed seats that swivel 180 degrees and exclusive Sirius backseat TV. Then we merged it all with an incredibly smooth ride. The all-new Chrysler Town & Country with the best powertrain warranty in the business. Chrysler, engineered beautifully.
You're invited to a Central Park wedding.
You have to do something. What the hell is wrong with you? Get up!
I'm the only guy not
not throwing punches end up dead.
Gives a whole new meaning to cold feet.
A new CSI New York, Wednesday on CBS.
The Raiders line up for an onside kick. Now, there's 3:23 left, Randy, and all 3 timeouts. Is this too early?
No, not really. And the way Minnesota's set up for these guys to block and for Rice to catch this onside kick.
Instead, with everyone up there, Janikowski roots it down the field. And oh, what a break for the Vikings. It kicks out of bounds at the 1, so Minnesota gets it at the 40 when it could have been inside the 10-yard line if Williamson had picked it up and returned. Or 1 more yard would have been half the distance, 20-yard line instead of the 40. So tough luck for Janikowski. That's why they have that ball in that oblong position. You never know why or where it's going to bounce.
Isn't there a faster way you can do this? No.
Back in the land of 10,000 lakes, a reminder, yeah, they take the subway out there on the boat. The Subway postgame show. We'll have all the latest NFL scores and highlights for you. Stay tuned after the conclusion of our game here in Minneapolis for the Subway postgame show. From the 40, fake to Taylor. And the little short pass to Richardson, the fullback, and he stays in bounds. Has an 8-yard gain, and Thomas Howard, the tackler.
Yeah, you've got to start using a timeout or 2 here, and Lane Kiffin does call a timeout. You've got 3 left now, 2 timeouts. Smart move by Williamson. Remember, that's a live ball. And remember, there are a large group of people with ill intent coming for you, but they were the only ones that knew that ball was going down the field. Janikowski popped that thing. I think everybody else assumed it was going to be an onside kick.
And the luck of the bounce goes Minnesota's way, and with a penalty for kicking out of bounds out to the 40-yard line and an 8-yard gain and a penalty, the timeout, the penalty is now that the Raiders have to use their timeouts as we head toward the 2-minute warning. 3:13 left.
So functionally, Lane Kiffin and the Raiders have 3 time stoppages in their back pocket, counting the 2-minute warning coming up here. So they have 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning.
But a first down here really puts the pressure on that situation. And it's 2nd and 2. Taylor has the first down. Tackled on the dive by Kirk Morrison at the Raider 47. A gain of 5 gives him 201 yards in the game total.
Over that left side again, behind Hutchinson, McKinney, Burke, the center. You know, their offensive line coach, Pat Morris, I've known him since high school, and he's been a guy that went to a rival high school across the valley, went to USC, and his offensive line has just paved the road for a career day. Not a career day, but a heck of a day for Chester Taylor.
3 touchdown runs for Taylor, 163 yards rushing, and with his pass catching, 201 total yards. Not a bad average, 8.2. The man he's replacing, the injured rookie Adrian Peterson, leading the league with a 6.4 average. The only man over 1,000 yards at the midseason mark in the NFL. 1 timeout left for Oakland.
Yeah, it just went from saving timeouts to really desperately needing a fumble here for the Raiders.
Taylor the call. Ooh, hit in the backfield by Morrison. He gambled, shot the gap, and he did apply a big hit on the ball carrier. Taylor, good job of hanging on.
Now, last timeout is used. Defensive linemen, they eat up the blocks. Morrison eats up the runner. He just comes in low, and if you're not an experienced runner in this league like Chester Taylor, you're not exactly thinking ball as soon as you get hit like that. You're thinking ouch.
And Morrison was quite a bargain. The Raiders got him in the 3rd round. His teammate at San Diego State, Matt McCoy, was picked around earlier by the Eagles, and he was released and is now playing special teams in New Orleans. This kid has become a defensive star.
And they need a few more star plays out of him. If they can stop it, they're going to get the ball back if they can stop him from getting another first down.
It's 2nd and 10, 1 timeout, and no timeouts left, but they have the 2-minute warning timeout. Two wide right for the Vikings. Taylor, the lone running back. Jackson, another quarterback draw, dives inside the 40, and for a moment that ball,
he's down,
was squirting away. Morrison there to secure the tackle. It'll be 3rd and 2 and the clock running.
Morrison came in with just a bolo chop on the ball. Just as Jackson's going on the ground, watch 52 Morrison come in, and he really swings at it. Bang, and he gets in there and hits it and rips it out. But Jackson's on the ground when that ball comes out.
Now the game clock, play clock, it'll get down to 2:15 before. And of course, this, if it's reviewed, it would that's right. There's no challenge opportunity for Lane Kiffin because they're out of timeouts, and now the timeout will be called by Minnesota right at the end of the play clock.
Really, even if they had timeouts, I think they'd be wasting it challenging here, because as Jackson goes down, Morrison comes in from the side. He's down right there. That ball is not coming out.
Yeah, but he isn't down by contact. And so he hadn't been hit till there. Oh, that's a borderline call.
No, it's not enough to say, even in any kind of a replay, that they're going to say that's a fumble. Where is initially the contact made? His knee is down. He is down. Does the arm hit the body? Does any part of him hit his helmet?
He's not down yet because he hadn't been down by contact.
He's been hit now. Yeah. Now the ball's out.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
Yeah. So it's not. It wouldn't. Even if they had the timeout, it wouldn't be worth it.
Well, this is the game if the Raiders can't stop the Vikings on 3rd and 2. 2:15 left in the 4th quarter. It's up to Taylor. And Taylor pushes the pile. It's going to be a matter of how they mark it right at the yellow line. Big Gerard Warren in there to help out on the tackle. And there's the 2-minute warning as time has stopped.
If it's short by the nose of a ball. It's being marked right there at the yard to gain there.
We saw last Monday night what a couple of inches, what a difference that'll make in the New England San Diego game. Let's get the measurement before we break on the 2-minute warning.
Rex Ryan comes on the field to talk to his defense, and the officials are trying to measure, pushing the defensive coaches from the Raiders out of the way.
Length of the football. 2 minutes to go. 4th down, Minnesota, when we come back. Call for Brad Childress. His team has rushed for 228 yards today, and here's 4th and a foot at the 37, but he's going to punt it, apparently. Tim Dwight at the other end. So the Raiders will get a chance. Good directional kick by Kluwe, and it'll be as they mark it up around between the 10 and 15-yard line, and maybe better than that, to the 17.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Dick. After rushing for all those yards with that offensive line, I just sneak it in behind Burke and Hutchinson and say, hey, look, if I don't make it, defense got to stop him. But if you make it, the game's over.
The game would have been over indeed. Without a timeout, the Raiders had no chance. But watch the kneel down process. Well, now the bad news for Minnesota is the most generous pass defense in the entire NFL will be tested by the long arm of Culpepper.
You better put some heat on him here. You better not just fall back and let everything happen in front of you.
He goes short and intercepted by Greenway. Chad Greenway on the deflection.
He fumbled.
And then he fumbles. And who's got it now? Raiders say they do. And they do come back with it. Oh, my. So Greenway, who leads the league in fumble recoveries, got one today for 4.
Well, Brad Childress is trying to say
interception.
He was down. I don't know if he was contacted.
Oakland recovered the football. It'll be 1st and 10, Oakland.
No, that's a fumble.
It looked like his own man, Ray Edwards, trying to block for him, rammed into him and forced the fumble.
Well, he's trying to say he was touched as he was intercepting, so he was down by contact initially, but can't sell that one.
That stopped the clock because there was a change of possession. 1:46 to go. Culpepper on the run, and Greenway almost got it again. Intended for Zach Miller.
So did Justin Fargas, almost caught that one after Greenway knocked it up in the air.
Greenway so close.
See, remember, the ball goes in the air. Greenway touches it. They were trying to say that he had been downed. He was touched, but it was before he had actually caught the ball. Remember, Greenway's an 9-man football guy.
Yeah. And welcome those of you who have been watching NFL action on CBS elsewhere. We're in Minnesota, where the Oakland Raiders have the ball. Final 2 minutes of the game, no timeouts, trailing by 7. Culpepper, the ex-Viking, to Tim Dwight, and Dwight out across the 25-yard line. An incredible day for Chester Taylor, the running back for the Minnesota Vikings, with the injured rookie star Adrian Peterson on the sidelines with a knee injury. Taylor with 3 touchdowns, over 200 yards running and catching the ball. Again, the short pass is complete to the fullback Griffith, and it's a first down at the 30, but the clock running toward the 1-minute mark for the Raiders, and Culpepper trying to hurry things along. White doesn't just ground the ball here and stop the clock with a first down. That's puzzling. Clock continues to run. About 12, 13, 15 seconds lost by not downing the ball. Culpepper to the sidelines and complete to the tight end Zach Miller, and that'll stop the clock at 44 seconds. Marcus McCauley with the tackle. A crazy game that started on the very first play, a 79-yard trick play, a wide receiver pass to the tight end Shanko as the rookie Sidney Rice threw the pass for 79 yards. In the second play, Taylor took it in for a touchdown. There was a safety, a field goal. First 3 scores for Minnesota. 5 turnovers by the Vikings that kept the Raiders in the game, as the Raiders have kicked 4 field goals by Janikowski. Culpepper goes short to the sideline. Griffith gets as much as he can and then out of bounds at the 50-yard line.
They'll take the little chunks, Dick. Henderson, the middle linebackers, lining up 15, 20 yards off the ball, is almost a third safety in the middle of the field. Greenway, the other linebackers, another 10 yards off the line of scrimmage.
Correct myself. Janikowski with 5 field goals, 52, 49, 42, 42, and 30 to kick the Raiders within closing distance. They're down by 7, 38 seconds to go.
Blitz.
Culpepper. And that'll be short, incomplete for Jerry Porter.
Greenway coming on that blitz. Almost got home to Dante Culpepper.
Culpepper has thrown some long balls to Ronald Curry in this game. Curry in the first half had 4 catches, averaging 30 a catch, a total of 120 yards. But the Vikings have shut him down here in the second half.
33 seconds to go. It's second down. Even if you're talking about some of the legendary arms in this league, it's still about 65 yards in the air just to get the ball to the end zone from where Dante will end up here.
326 yards passing for Culpepper. And a safety valve just got rid of it. He knew he was about to be hit as Rasmus James on his back. Incomplete to stop the clock. 25 seconds. Third down and 10 at the Raider 46.
See, now you're talking about you were calling earlier for the down. You get this first down and you're Lane Kiffin. You've got to get down and down this thing. But only if you get the first down, obviously. Otherwise, short of the first down, this offensive line, this offense has to get to the line of scrimmage quickly.
Yeah, this is the time of the game and field position. Nothing should surprise, including the hook and ladder. Culpepper down the middle, complete to Miller. Now they have to hurry with no timeout. It's at the 35-yard line, the first down. Clock running, have to down it. 15, 14, 13, and there it is at the 12-second mark. So flag is down, however. And if it's against the Raiders,
is it illegal formation?
10 seconds would be run off, which would give them only a final play with 2 seconds left. And this could be costly.
False start. Number 17 of the offense. That foul occurred while the clock was running. Therefore, it requires a 10-second runoff. Please set the game clock at 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
10 precious seconds lost by the Raiders. So that, instead of having a couple of plays to try to hit a bomb and tie it, they have this one final chance unless there's a defensive penalty.
3 rushers, 8 defenders back. If you rush 3.
Here it is, final play of the game, and Culpepper lofts it high and deep. It's in the end zone and batted away, and the Vikings have won it 29-22. A win for Minnesota as we go to New York.